technical difficulties. So.
Of course.
I think my internet actually went out for a split second. Curse you, Xfinity.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're back up now anyway. So, but yeah, I guess we could just close out on that in terms of as far as news goes. So.
Well, actually, I have a couple of quick things.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, for one, the next major DLC for Fallout 4 is coming out at the end of the month.
Oh, that's right. So what's it
Nuka
called?
World.
Nuka World. That's right.
I'm very excited for that.
You can lead your own raider gang and have to take over a giant amusement park from hell.
Yep.
And supposedly, some people who actually betaed or did the beta, supposedly it's even bigger than Far Harbor.
Oh, wow.
But that's supposedly. They're not. I haven't found anything concrete yet. But even more so than that, supposedly, this won't be the final Fallout 4 DLC.
That I'm curious about because they've been pretty obvious, seeming like that at least.
Well, that's what I thought, but I did some digging, and I can't remember if it was Twitter or where, but one of their people dropped the usual oh, we never said this was the final DLC.
Of course. Keep spiting.
So that's not for sure yet, but
before
it
you
could be
know
interesting.
Before you'll know it, they'll be announcing the Year 2 season pass. So just ready up that.
Well, that's just it. The last two Fallouts each had upwards of 5 major.
They both had 5 majors.
DLC, major DLC maps. And
granted, Far Harbor and assuming Nuka World is the same size are a lot bigger than most of those.
True.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they doing less is not the worst thing if they're really good size. Which I'm this close to having enough content done that I can play Far Harbor, but all I've heard is that it's one of the best Fallout things ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I really gotta get on that.
I don't know about. Far Harbor was pretty good.
I heard it's at least the best part of Fallout 4.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best Fallout DLCs. I wouldn't call it the best, but I really enjoyed a couple on New Vegas. So
yeah, New Vegas has some good ones too. But hey, I'm fine with more after Nuka World.
So yeah, I'm not sure yet, but hopefully.
All right. All right. Did you have anything else to touch on, Will, or was that it? Because there were a few announcements there were a few other bigger announcements. That's one of the bigger ones, the Fallout 4 news that I haven't covered yet. But
well, I feel like I don't know. I've heard quite a bit lately. I just can't seem to. I know there was something about the Battlefield 1 having an open beta in the next week or two.
Yep. Yep. That's going into open beta as well. I think it's the end of the month. I think it's the end of the month.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's about the same time the Fallout 4 DLC is coming out.
So
then, that's right. Overwatch seems to be getting a massive overhaul.
Yep.
Yeah. Twitter's abuzz with nerfs to Genji. It's all I hear about. Nerfs to Genji. Everything is terrible. Nerfs to Genji.
I heard about that yesterday too.
Can't unleash my inner weeaboo anymore.
They're nerfing also May as well. And I can't remember the reason why, but yeah, they're going to be nerfing a lot of characters, I think, from what I hear.
Well, I didn't mean just that, but they're kind of changing gameplay to make it more of a MMO than anything else.
Really? I don't know anything about that. I don't play the games.
Adding a new map and some other stuff as well.
Yep. The new map, I believe, is called Eichenwald.
Yeah, that's why I saw the headline for that.
And it looks really good. I'm excited to play it. As well as they're starting new shorts on their characters now. And the first one's going to be about Bastion, which is already out now.
Yeah, I think they got released today. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna be watching that today.
Everybody was saying it was really sad for some reason. I didn't watch it, but people were saying they were crying over it.
That was my one problem with the game. It's like, why wouldn't you put that in the damn game?
Yeah,
But I don't know, whatever.
I agree. That is kind of true. It's like I feel like at times they don't have enough to make it an interesting game, to make it more lore. They have to find the lore on the outside of the game.
Yeah.
It seems they've created these like awesome characters, and then they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Well, you have to go digging like their website and other YouTube and other shit besides the game just to find it.
Yeah.
Which
Like,
I
if they
wouldn't
don't
say is
care-
a good way to do it at all.
If they don't care enough to put it in the game, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
At least in Dark Souls, it's all there to read.
maybe when they're all out and done, they'll like release a patch with the cinematics or whatever built inside.
Yeah.
So.
That would be cool.
I can't see them being done for a while now, since they're like announcing a new character like every 3 months or something like that. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
they'll probably just keep doing them. All right. Well, yeah, I think there was a lot of news this week, but I just picked 5 to kind of go over. Especially with Gamescom. Gamescom is going on right now, and there's a lot of announcements. Even though they're kind of covering games that we already know about, there's just a lot of reveals and stuff going on about games that were announced during E3. And yeah, more of those, more news regarding those announcements will be up on our website later. So, yeah, that's all the Gamescom stuff. I guess we could transition into our main topic for this week, No Man's Sky. It's been the hype of the town pretty much, even though I've heard mixed reviews about it. I think it's pretty much, at this point, for at least the past week or so, it's pretty much been what everybody has been playing. So,
That's all I hear about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we could just start with the launch. So, the game is out on Xbox One, PS4, and PC, so pretty much all platforms. I'm not even going to mention Wii U because, nothing ever comes out on the Wii U.
That could never happen on Wii U.
Yeah, never. I don't know. So far, it seems to be a pretty decent game. I know the launch was apparently delayed on the PC. A few days, was it?
Mhm.
So due to bugs and whatnot. But I don't know, Nick. You picked up the game. How was it on launch day? Was it really buggy? Were you able to play it because I've heard it's gotten several patches as well. So
Well, it did have a day one patch, but I mean that's kind of standard now.
yeah,
But no, I didn't really have any problems, or I usually notice that kind of stuff. I think it's just the whole game is kind of a double-edged sword because its magnificence is pretty much based on its massive size, but it's also kind of hampered by that size.
right.
Because stuff I wouldn't call bugs, but just technical problems from the game loading and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like the size of it. Well, I feel like the size of it was the main thing everybody was excited about when it got announced back. What was it? E3 2013.
Mhm.
So when they told us about how many planets were going to be available, like how many is it,
Something
like
quintillion.
yeah, 18 quintillion or something like that. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, this game is going to be massive. I absolutely have to pick this up." And pretty much that was what everybody was excited about. But now that people are actually experiencing for themselves how large this game is, I feel like, I don't know, the thoughts on it are starting to change a little bit. So I mean, as somebody who's looking to pick up No Man's Sky, Will, what do you think? What are they really getting themselves into? Like, what sort of player do you have to be? Like, what sort of gamer do you have to be to get into this game? Who is this game really for?
Well, let me put it this way. If you played anything like Fallout or Skyrim or Far Cry, and you don't like any part of it except exploring, then No Man's Sky is for you.
Okay.
Because that's literally all you can do in No Man's Sky is explore. Like, there is no end to what you can explore. It's there's nothing else to do. So
There's
it
no
just
plot
gets,
or goals or anything.
not really. I mean, so it doesn't really have much of a tutorial either. So I kind of had to guess my way through quite a bit at the beginning.
At first, the controls are
But
wonky too, so that's probably frustrating.
well, I don't know about that. They're kind of odd, but
No.
nothing too major. But no, primarily there's not really. I mean, you can choose to have a goal, which I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, after that, it didn't really tell me to do anything, and nothing happened. So I just went exploring myself, anyways. And I think now I've explored about half a dozen galaxies, about 20 planets, and
Wow.
found some dozens of species. But the problem is, they're all almost identical.
Yeah, it's
You know,
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
every plant looks almost identical, except sometimes there's water or some more trees or whatever.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is exactly what my worry was going to be. I was like, okay, you guys can have all these planets, but I mean, what are the odds that most of them are going to end up looking pretty similar? And
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Well, yeah, that's the problem. I mean, I understand the concept behind this random algorithm or whatever the fuck they call it,
yeah.
but it just it didn't really mix them up that much. I mean, they're all. It's like there's not that many differences in general, because most of the creatures I seem to find tend to look the same. I mean, I've traveled pretty far across the universe.
So, I mean, one thing, though, that I heard was pretty interesting about the game is you could actually just take pictures on the fly. And I've heard a lot about some people starting up, like, No Man's Sky photography blogs where they just take pictures in-game and then they just upload them to their website. Just like a whole collage of, like, photos in-game. I mean, even though the graphics don't really look realistic, I think the visuals are still really nice looking. Like, they're really vibrant. They're really bright. So I think I feel like that'd be something fun to mess around with in the game. You know, if you're gonna be just pretty much exploring all day, you might as well like get something out of it. I feel like,
It's true.
because
Yeah, and I mean, I've taken. I guess I do have some pictures. I think on my Twitter and other places of some of the more interesting creatures I found. Like I think I found Cthulhu, that creature from. Oh crap! What was that garbage movie with the giant monster?
It-
That
H.P. Lovecraft.
Well, that's
No,
what's the other thing you're talking about?
Oh.
Cloverfield, the Cloverfield monster.
I wouldn't call that movie garbage, but that's besides the point. I like that movie a lot.
But I found that I don't know. There's sometimes the mixing can create some interesting things. The other problem though is that sometimes exploring can be a massive pain because I guess the besides exploring, the other main point of the game seems to be survival because there are some predators and flying robots which from what story I have found talking to other alien species seems to be like the enemy of the universe, but no one really knows why or how, so just that they're kind of dicks and want to control everything.
yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that I learned or from like basically reading a little bit up about the game is that it's got like aliens. Obviously, you're in space going to other planets. You're gonna come across aliens, but there's also like alien languages that are like, I guess, written out on Architect and stuff like that.
That is one interesting part of the game that you don't understand any of there's only like 3 alien species, I think, unless I just haven't found the rest yet. But yeah, you don't know any of their languages. You kind of have to find it through like totems and other stuff. And sometimes they'll teach you if you do something right. And there's a lot of different ways you can learn the language.
See, that's the stuff that sounds more interesting.
Yeah, that-
actual like slightly deeper content.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that could be something that definitely dig into, especially.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a lot of words. I think in order to get to gold, I had to learn some couple hundred words.
Oh wow, okay.
But that
Oh,
was
Guy is
wow.
my favorite visual novel.
Mhm.
Yeah, that could definitely add some depth into the game.
but yeah, aliens just don't you don't cross aliens that often, and usually you can, well, you know where they're going to be before you find them.
mm,
So, and usually they just give you like one liner quests, like choose this or give me this or whatever, and it's all, yeah. There's just not much depth to it.
I see. Well, one thing that I want to get cleared up, and I guess I could ask you about this, was so this game is absolutely 100% single player. There is no multiplayer at all whatsoever. Is that true?
It's not quite what I've aware of, at least.
Because I
Well-
heard, well, when the game came out, I heard that people were trying to meet up in the game by, like, launching to a planet at the same time. So I was thinking, okay, maybe the game's online, but it's just so rare that you'll ever be able to meet the same person because there's so many planets. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I guess there's some confusion about that because supposedly there's been at least a couple different people or groups or whatever that were on the exact same planet, or at least thought they were on the exact same planet,
Mm-hmm.
but one was there during the day and one was there during the night, and
Oh,
even though the
Mm.
exact, so I guess I'm not sure. I mean, it's definitely online because you can like upload all the stuff you find so that everyone who comes after you knows that you found it
oh, okay.
and all that. But I guess I'm pretty sure you can't actually find other players.
That's
Yeah.
slightly disappointing, but I mean,
But yeah, it's so big. The chances of anyone doing that for some time are pretty slim, anyways. But just from experiments other players have run, it sounds like it's not possible.
yeah.
I've heard that people think it could be similar to a lot of games have instanced online, where you'll get placed in a server with a couple hundred other people, so that everyone is not in one world, like overloading everything. So if it's like that, then it's kind of just luck if you get in with the person you're trying to meet up with.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's so big that it's difficult to even tell.
Yeah. The odds are very low. And how do you even know?
Yeah, because I thought I found another person at one point, but the game kind of bugged out on me, and I could never get any closer to the radar. And yeah, I don't know.
The consequence of launch.
But okay, so I know you were touching on a possible, like, I guess a possible plot point of the game. So I heard that the main objective of the game is that there's something waiting for you in the center of the universe, and that's kind of the end game. Is there any truth to that? Do they touch on that at all in the game? Is there anything kind of pointing you in that direction?
Well, there's some one thing I haven't quite figured out yet. I forget where it is, but there's like this odd menu bar that has 6 or 7 dots. Oh yeah, it's in the universe map when you're trying to jump from one galaxy to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one I had does suggest, or it doesn't even suggest, it does point you towards the center of the galaxy, which I've heard people, mainly people from the beta who had the infinite items hack, that there is something waiting for you at the center of the galaxy. I'm not really sure what, but the thing is, I've only unlocked 3, or I don't even know if I've unlocked. It's kind of weird, but I've only seen 3 of the dots so far. One leads you to the center of the galaxy. One is just kind of random, lets you look around the entire universe. Which, I mean, I tried to get to the center of the galaxy for like 10 minutes, and I still didn't get there. And the third one I did, I think, is the actual storyline of the game, because it keeps telling me I assume everyone else has seen the logo, that big triangle with the red eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's like what's controlling the Sentinels, or if that's like the main enemy in a way, or but it's kind of trying to tell me to go towards that. The odd thing though is that for whatever reason, it's telling me to go away from the center of the universe.
Well, maybe what you need to fight it perhaps could be there.
Well,
Something
yeah,
like that.
I don't know. I kind of looked up a little bit to see what was going on, and I was told you had to find like all these red dot things, and I don't know, the game is so huge, it's hard to tell anything.
Yeah,
And that's why it's
imagine taking a
that's
long
why
time.
it's kind of hard for any player because every player starts on a random planet.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a hard time at first because my planet caused constant damage because it was so cold.
That's unfortunate start.
Wow.
And there's no tutorial, so it took a while for me to figure out how to balance everything out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That sucks.
But
I don't know, it sounds to me like they've implemented a lot of cryptic stuff into this game that people are just going to have to spend a lot of time figuring out. And then maybe
yeah,
that'll give you a little
yeah.
bit more detail on the plot. That just sounds really interesting to me. That makes me want to kind of get into it. Because
well, that's exactly it. It's because I guess the only other thing is every once in a while I come across a base or something that looks like it's been destroyed and covered with these green tentacles or whatever.
Mm.
And then I can usually find some log talking about seeking the eye.
Ooh. That's interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's at least 6 or 7 dots on that option, and I only have 3 of them so far. So I'm not sure what the rest of them do yet.
Well, I personally am just going to come to the conclusion that there's some sort of end game in there, but I don't know. It's just probably so overwhelming because there's just so much to explore. Because I don't know. I feel like if they're gonna if they spent how many years, they've had to have spent at least like 6 years working on this game before
It wasn't
they.
even announced until 2013,
Yeah.
so
So I mean, come on. I mean, there's got to be some plot involved. So I just feel like if they're working on it for that long, there's got to be something more to it.
Well, if I ever find this eye, I'll let someone know.
that's
You never know. You might be
Hopefully.
the first person.
Well, I've already spent a few hours today just trying to find one species on this giant planet. And I'm pretty sure I've literally found everything else on the planet.
yeah. It's the problem with a game like this. Oh, I want to hunt this one thing down. Let me explore a couple quintillion planets. Maybe I'll find it.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing, though. Pretty much everything is confounded to one planet. Like, every planet it's part of that random thing. Every planet has its own everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be very random sometimes.
So do you think if someone were to say progress in the plot, do you think it would just be based on chance, like they just so happen to fall upon a planet that helps them, I guess, progress further into the plot? Because if everything is just so random, I mean, you're kind of just praying to RNGesus at this point that, you know.
No, not well. Yes and no. I mean, I kind of, like I said, when I started for the very first time, I found the starting point, I guess you could say, like this big red orb right next to my ship. Then after that, I didn't find anything else about it for like 6 planets. And then I came across another destroyed hideout or base or whatever that told me I gotta go back to this way and find something on this whole other planet. So I guess I'm not sure I guess it's kind of random where you find the next points.
But it will happen no matter what.
Well, because it kind of tells you where the next thing you're looking for is at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Like when I needed a warp drive to get to the next galaxy, it kind of pointed that out. But I mean, like I said, most of it's exploring, so you kind of come across that stuff eventually. And like I said, then it's pointing me where I need to go. It's kind of far away, so it's taking me a while to get there.
Kind of far away across the universe. Who would have thought?
And, yeah. Although I did just buy a new $2 million ship, so
Oh wow.
I won't have
nice.
trouble with space pirates anymore.
That's the most important part.
Well, I mean, just a few other things I just wanted to touch on about the game. If you guys have any other thoughts, you could, definitely feel free to share. But I was wondering if, well, I highly doubt it, but do you think they're going to implement any sort of DLC into this game, or do you feel like there's just so much already that?
No, they've already announced they will.
Oh, they have.
Oh,
okay.
really?
Yeah, they're already. See, I don't know. I kind of touch on this in my review, but essentially, the game kind of feels like Minecraft, except without the building part of Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
So you're just kind of wandering around, tearing apart everything you find, which pisses off the Sentinels, but that's a whole other thing. It's kind of like Christopher Columbus finding America. You're just landing on other planets that people already live on and claiming them in your own name.
Decided this is mine now.
Pretty much. So,
Interesting.
but no,
Great role model.
they've already announced they're working on. They didn't say DLC necessarily. They apparently right now, assumedly, it's going to be free.
That's
just
something,
like
at
an-
least.
A free update.
Oh, okay.
Like, because your the ships you can have right now are fairly small, but when you're out in space, you can see these massive like freighters, and supposedly this update will let you have one of those. And not only that, it'll let you create your own base.
Yeah, I heard something about that, being able
That's
to
something
create
I
your own
would
base.
love to have in that sort of game.
That
To
would
leave
be
like a mark on
cool.
the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one problem I have though. It's like it's kind of useless to have a base because if you're trying to go one way or the other, trying to go back to a planet you've already been on wouldn't help you very much and would just cost a ton of resources.
Maybe you could have like an instant warp to it because like it's your base.
Oh, I was thinking more if they could combine a base and the freighter. That would be
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Base
you
just
have
lifts up, goes with you.
yeah.
I feel like that would take out the fun of people like exploring and finding someone else's base. Because that could be fun to like see like, oh, someone else has been here. Plus, it lets you know may as well leave because there's no resources left.
Well, actually, it'd be kind of hard to take all the resources, but
Oh, really?
yeah, unless the planet's just completely dead, which there are a few of those. Well, there's quite a few. But even those you can usually get by pretty easy. I mean, once you get enough item slots and whatever to manage your resources, the whole survival aspect of the game is just a non-factor anymore.
Oh, okay.
Mm,
It's a little unfortunate.
that's too bad.
Well, it's nice to know that they do plan to implement some new things into the game.
Yeah.
Leaving it alone.
Yeah.
Well, they so far it sounds like they have like a lot of stuff they plan adding, and originally they said it was going to be free, but I read somewhere that they were kind of stepping back and saying, "Whoa, we might have to have some paid DLC here."
It's 2016. We can't do free.
Yeah.
What's
So
free?
there's going to be something. It's just kind of a question of how long it'll take.
Mhm.
Because I'm really hoping for a giant space freighter base or something soon.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's something I
Yes.
could definitely get behind. I would love that. Let's see here. I guess one of the last things that I wanted to touch on. This is more for I guess the PC crowd was the possibility of mods. 'Cause I
I've heard
feel
that's
like-
happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything in particular like?
I think sadly, mostly like so far, like obviously it's only been a few days, so they haven't been able to do much. But like quality of life improvements, like people were complaining about like FOV and frames per second.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
I think people have been
it's pretty
adding stuff to, improve the actual playing experience, rather than like adding the new content. But like once they can get on adding new content, I imagine it can be kind of ridiculous.
It would be ridiculous, especially with how expansive the universe is in the game. I mean, you never know that you could have a mod where they have a new planet that they could put in.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Some species spawn as dick butt, like the important mods, of course.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. The frame rate's kind of, at least on the PS4 I'm playing on, it's. I mean, sometimes even when you're walking, the map doesn't fully load till you're right on top of it. And when you're flying, it definitely doesn't load until you're right on top of it.
Is the game supposed to be running in 60 frames or 30?
I'm not sure.
Wasn't it 60?
You would
I-
It
hope
was 60.
Believe.
that in our day and age, that they would go to 60, but
Yeah.
sadly,
Well,
it's-
I
the
assume
expectations-
so because it struggles with it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, even I don't know. There's no end to what they could mod in this. I mean, seeing some of the mods they do for like Fallout 4, I mean, they should have a field day with this one.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I can't.
But-
I can't wait.
One thing I would love to see is an easier way to find species on planets.
they're just
'cause-
walking around and hoping for the best.
Well, I've been doing that for 5 hours now, and I still can't find the last damn species. I've searched the deepest waters and the highest mountains, and I have no idea what it is. And there's a lot of predators on this planet.
I'm pretty sure they can, because the game doesn't have like a built-in map or radar or anything for when you're on a planet, does it?
It doesn't have a map, which would be helpful, but
That's a
at
strange
that
feature to not have.
at that size, because literally there's no. If you can see it, you can go to it.
Yeah.
So a map would just be unreasonably large. But
Well, if it's just local, like where you explore, you unlock the map. That way, it wouldn't start out like gigantic.
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
there is a scanner, and that's
Okay.
kind of what the scanner is for. I mean, I've focused quite a bit of my attention on upgrading my scanner so I can see very large distances all at one time.
That's useful.
And yeah, there's I don't know, like I said, it can just go on forever. I mean, I'm not positive I've gone full around the planet yet, but I may have. Sometimes I get lost a bit, which a map would help, but a tutorial would help too. So,
Lots of things that would help, but what will actually happen?
or would
Yeah.
have helped anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe a modded in species detector or something like that might be implemented. Maybe
Yeah.
somebody's working on that. Who knows?
Life form scanner.
Yeah. I don't know how that would work, but maybe with time we'll see something like that. But yeah, I mean, this has been the hype. So I mean, do you feel like it's gonna stick around, or do you feel like this game's gonna die out pretty quickly?
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, for open world people like myself, I mean, there's no end to what you can do. But it's kind of like, it's kind of the same reason why I don't play Overwatch or Minecraft and a couple other games anymore, because it would just take me forever and take up my entire life just trying to reach any level that I would want to reach.
Yeah. Hard to play other games with that going on.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if they add some other stuff to make it less exploring and more, if they basically made a sci-fi Minecraft, it could probably be as big as Minecraft.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
That would be cool.
Because as of now, I've heard just a lot of people are starting to get kind of tired of it because they just feel like it's the same thing over and over again.
And it really is. It's all just, eventually it's just the same creatures and whatever over and over again.
So I feel like if they are planning
Yeah.
to add some new stuff into the game, they should probably do it. I don't know, maybe before the end of this year for sure.
Before it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, there's plenty to explore, but there's not a whole lot of variation as they said there would be.
Well, I just
Well,
pray that they get it all fixed up on PC so I can, like, buy the PC version and not come across a million bugs. Because I would like to play it on PC. All right. Well, I mean, anybody have any other final thoughts on No Man's Sky? Do you guys think you'll pick it up, James and Rachel?
60. I don't know if I can, like, with everything that's being said, I don't know if I could spend $60 on it.
Yeah.
Which,
that is
like, if it
kinda-
was $20,
Yeah.
I could see it, but I think it would need to add significant amounts of content because I can't do like games with no direction. Like at least like Fallout or Skyrim, like there's quests that are like you obviously can like go here and do that
Mhm.
instead of just like, hey, fly your ship somewhere and hope you find something cool. I can't do that. It's stressful.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, it does seem interesting, and so I might pick it up. But yeah, if it's a game with really no much in the way of objectives, it's not really fun for me. Because like for Mass Effect, when you explored a planet, there was usually like something like you could go to and get in a way. So yeah,
Well, there's plenty you can go to and get. It's just it doesn't really go anywhere specific.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to find.
There's no real direction. There's just a lot of stuff happening.
well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I kind of hope this, like, every time some big hyped game comes out and disappoints people, you hope that it'll be the one people will stop buying into hype machines. But of course it won't, because we were talking about Final Fantasy 15 and Titanfall 2,
Yeah.
and there's always more to get hyped about. But it's sad to see that like the most exciting potential games become the biggest disappointments most of the time.
Yep. And I mean, this was another one of those
Yeah.
games that were in development for a while and got pushed a lot.
Yeah,
And it's finally
So-
here, and people are like, eh.
doesn't bode well for our boys at Square Enix.
Yeah. But oh yeah, so the developers of this is an indie game too. So I keep forgetting about that. Like it is an indie title.
Very small studio.
Yeah, so it's pretty impressive
Yeah.
what they've pulled off. But
That they made it at all is honestly
yeah,
a feat. You should definitely give them credit for that. But no matter how small you are, if you overpromise, you got to deliver.
yep, absolutely.
Well, it's a magnificent game, and they've technically done what they said. It's just not as much as I think people expected it to be.
Although I don't think they did much to fight against those expectations. They kind of let it happen.
Well, I think that was more Sony's doing, but yeah.
Well, got to market somehow. It's a shame.
Well, I'll probably end up picking up if they ever fix the PC stuff, and hopefully we see like a price drop on it. Maybe, I don't know. The price will probably be like $40 on Black Friday, which is will be here before
Not
you know
terrible.
it. So I feel like if you want to pick up the game, but you don't want to spend $60, I think that would be a reasonable date to wait for to get the game. But yeah, I don't really have much left to comment on it. I don't know. You guys have
Satisfied.
anything else to say, No Man's Sky, before we close up the discussion?
Said by piece.
Nope.
All right, Nick, how much or longer do you think you'll be playing the game for? Like, how many hours have you put into it so far? Have you been slowing down since it came out, or are you still playing about the same amount each day?
I guess I kind of stopped the day or two ago to play Galgun,
Oh, okay.
just so I could actually play that for a bit. But I mean, like I said, it's pretty obsessive trying to find everything, and I mean, just exploring's kind of boring, but there's so much to explore, and it takes so long. It's just extremely absorbing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Oh, No Man's Sky, everybody. All right, so I think that's going to wrap up our discussion for today. So if you are interested in picking up No Man's Sky, it's available right now, $60, all platforms, PS4, Xbox One, PC. So you can definitely do that. If you want to wait, definitely wait until like Black Friday to hopefully get a discount off on the game. Let's see. The next time we go live, I think probably the next main discussion we'll probably do, because we're quickly approaching Tokyo Game Show. I think it's time to have a pre-discussion about the NX reveal and the PS 4.5 reveal.
Oh boy.
I think it's time to talk about those a little bit, because I feel like both are going to be revealed pretty soon, even though they did not announce either at Gamescom, which I don't know. I personally didn't hear too much about a possible announcement for those consoles at Gamescom, but I think TGS is going to be the next game show that they'll more than likely be revealed at. So I think the next time we go live for the next episode, we'll probably touch on that a little bit, and cover the news for that following week. So
Nintendo was boned. That's all.
Predictions done. Next topic.
Pretty much.
We don't even tune in next week, everyone.
Yeah.
just say that to yourself. Be happy.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. So if you guys want to keep up to date, if you want to check this out, if you're watching this on Twitch, you can find it on our YouTube channel. All episodes will be up on the YouTube channel. You can check out our website for more nudist articles, reviews, and editorials that we didn't cover during this week, EXP4ALL.net. You can find those there. We're also on Twitter as well at EXP4ALL, so whenever we go live, you can follow us there. When we go live, I'll tweet it out. And we have Facebook as well, if anybody actually still uses Facebook. I don't know. But Facebook.com/EXP4ALL, so we're on there as well, pretty much posting the exact same stuff, articles, when we go live, all that good stuff. Do you guys have your Twitter handles you want to give out?
Sure. My Twitter handle is @mylifeunrated, all one word.
I am at LayJimJam. And you can, find updates on the articles I write, YouTube videos I work on, and my other personal writings.
Same.
You can find me at Will Reaper, and then my YouTube channel, which has pretty much daily videos, which is also Will Reaper, 2 words. You can also see many, many, many hours of No Man's Sky there. So if you're still on the fence, you can see me burn to death or radiate to death. Or I'm pretty sure one of the videos has me getting raped by a giant tentacle monster.
We are really selling this game really well. Like, this is the best commercial ever. Like, pay us,
I know, right?
Sony.
Oh, there's a lot of tentacle monsters.
Oh, yeah.
All games are better with tentacle monsters. That's a fact.
Of course.
And if you guys want to give me a follow, I'm on Twitter as well, at GlakeGG. So I'm on there. So that's pretty much going to do it for us this week. If you tuned in on the Twitch channel, this will all be up on our YouTube, youtube.com/EXP4ALL. I know it kind of cut out in the middle, but I'll make sure it's all together, every little thing. So you definitely check it out there as well. But until next time, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
You guys keep on gaming.
Thank you.
Adios, everybody.
See you next week.